Hi guys, TechBoy here with another video. This video is all about the top 10 predictions for the Wii U in 2013, in my opinion. The order shouldn't be the highest priority, and I don't expect the order to be 100% correct, but I'm trying to outline the top 10 things that I'm expecting from Nintendo to be announced or released during 2013, based on the Wii U. So here we go. Coming in at number 10, the Wii U 3.0 software update. When the Wii U first came out, it came with a 1.0 software operating system out of the box, but then there was the day one patch that everybody had to install to enable Miiverse, Nintendo eShop, the web browser, Nintendo TV, all that. But I'm expecting there to be a 3.0 software update announced and or released sometime during this year. And what am I expecting from it? I am hoping, but it's probably wishful thinking, that there will be a better way to transfer the Wii data from the Wii to the Wii U. Because at the moment, if you do that, you can move it all across, but there will be nothing on the original Wii, which is why I haven't personally done it, because it's a stupid idea and makes your original Wii redundant. Anyhow, I'm also expecting faster loading times. It's not the biggest issue at the moment, because sometimes it takes about 15 seconds to go to and from the settings menu on the system, for example. It's not the biggest issue because you can still access it all, but it's just annoying that it takes a long time, so I'm hoping they fix it. Another feature I'd like to see is possibly Facebook and Twitter integration into Miiverse. So if you make an update in Miiverse, I'm expecting there to be a way where that status can then go on Facebook, but instead of having years in Miiverse, it's like entirely separate on Facebook. It's just having two different audiences looking at your same post. And there's going to be more features throughout this video which I'll outline. So we're going to work through that. Coming in at number 9. The PS4 and Xbox 720 effect. Because the media is going to focus a lot on these two consoles this year, because Sony and Microsoft likewise are going to most likely, as they are highly rumoured, to announce all and release their consoles this year. But Nintendo's going to have to release a lot of great games and good content out there to grab some of the media's attention, so they can basically say, well, hey, we have our system out already. Why don't you buy it now instead of waiting for that? And we've got a lot of good content. Because that's what's going to help to drive the system to help produce more sales. Coming in at number 8. NFC capabilities. Nintendo is finally going to provide support for the NFC chip, or near field communications chip, which basically means if you get a similar object that also has NFC capabilities and hold it on the device itself, like on the screen there you see the red circle, if you actually touch it, it will react in some form of way. So you can imagine like Skylanders Giants or something, you put one of them on the NFC chip itself and it will react in some way. I am hoping there to be support for it, but we're not sure how they're going to integrate it, because we've got the whole Wii U controller and you see there's the gamepad, the screen, the camera, the buttons and all that. They all have support in everything from launch, except for this one little blooming area on the screen. So hopefully they will provide support for it. Maybe we can hope for it. Coming in at number 7. 2 Wii U gamepads. Reggie Fils-Aimé announced at 2012's E3 that the Wii U will support 2 separate gamepads, but there has been no support for it amongst the launch lineup for the system. But hopefully Nintendo will announce some games during this year that will support 2 Wii U gamepads and also sell separate gamepads. I've got no idea how much they will cost, and I'm not going to speculate on that or anything, but I'm just hoping that they introduce a way to integrate 2 gamepads into the same system that will make it really good. You can imagine a game like Call of Duty or something where you're both playing your own separate games and you can't see where each of you are, but on the screen, on the TV screen, there's a map of the whole area. because I thought that would be a possible way to integrate it. Maybe they could come up with something more original. Let's just hope. And number 6 is Game Boy Advance and GameCube linked games relived. Nintendo Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of Zelda and Mario, has said in an interview that he is interested in using some of the old ideas he had from the GameCube and Game Boy Advance for the Wii U, because he originally came up with a solution where there's a Game Boy Advance and a GameCube, and then there's a link cable, as you see on the screen at the moment, to be able to link them both together, to be able to have a second screen experience. But a lot of people didn't buy into that experience or anything because it was too expensive, because you had to buy 2 separate units altogether. But since the Wii U automatically comes with a console and a gamepad that has a second screen in it, you already purchased that solution. And he's probably going to announce a lot of ideas and games and stuff, probably in small projects, and release them through the Nintendo eShop, probably for a small price, but hey, it's better than nothing. And number 5 is ways to link a 3DS to a Wii U. So the 3DS is a separate unit altogether, but hopefully they will announce a way to link it to the Wii U. When the Wii U was first announced, in 2011, they also announced that Super Smash Bros. Was announced for the 3DS and the Wii U, and they're gonna provide support for them. But hopefully they're gonna introduce a way that they can both seamlessly integrate with each other and support each other. Because it would be good if you could connect a 3DS to a Wii U and use the 3DS almost as a separate controller to communicate with the Wii U. So somebody's using a gamepad and somebody's using a 3DS, but you're both looking at the TV screen or on your separate screens on each of your devices. So it's like saying you've got a Pokemon game where you'd have 2 separate Pokemon games, because they released 2 at the same time, and link them all together, but it's for the same game but cross-platform. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but it would be really cool if they did it. Coming in at number 4. Wii U's Virtual Console. The Wii's Virtual Console exists on the Wii U, but they're going to have to expand it to provide full support for classic game titles on the Wii U gamepad alone. And there's also been rumours that Reggie Fils-Aimé, who is head of Nintendo of America, says he's really interested in bringing GameCube games from way back then to the Wii U itself and be able to play them on the screen, on the gamepad screen alone, which would be really cool, because I personally missed out on that whole generation of games and that, and I would love to play some Mario Kart Double Dash or Super Mario Sunshine or games like that, but I never purchased the system. So if they allowed you to download the game for a small fee, I guess they could make a lot of money out of it. Would be really cool. And number 3 is Nintendo TV. Now the Nintendo TV hasn't had a really smooth start, to be honest, because it was originally supposed to come out with the Wii U, but it wasn't even in the original operating system. It came in the software update from the day 1 patch, but that wasn't live, because you downloaded the software to be able to use it, but it wasn't functional because they didn't switch it on. But they did turn it on a few days before Christmas in America and Canada. But during 2013, I'm expecting there to be support for Nintendo TV in Australia and Europe. TiVo's digital video recording service should be available, so you can record stuff straight onto the Wii U console itself and play it back at a later time, either on the TV or the gamepad screen itself. Also expecting there to be a lot more content, probably more providers to provide stuff in that. Like in Australia, they could provide AFL, or the Australian Football League, for people outside Australia that don't know what it is. It's basically like soccer but with an oval shaped football, we call it. But anyways, I'm also expecting them to iron out a lot of bugs in the 3.0 software update. Just hope to make it a lot more smoother. And number 2 is Miiverse Smart Device app. I called it a smart device app because Nintendo is probably going to release an app for the iPhone, iPad and iPod Touch operating system, Android, possibly Windows through the Windows App Store, that will allow you to check your Miiverse profile and newsfeed while on the go. Also, there's probably going to be support on laptops simply by going to a website and putting it in a secure login username and password type system, because they've announced that this is definitely coming in 2013. It'd just be good if that time was now. Maybe not. And now before we get to number 1, there's one thing I do not expect Nintendo to do next year, regardless of how well the system sells. A price cut. $429 in Australia for the deluxe set does sound quite expensive, but you have to keep in mind that Nintendo is selling all of their units, the basic and the deluxe set, at a loss. So until you buy a game or two from them, they are losing money. They're not going to do a price cut until they're really desperate and starting to run out of ideas for the system, but if they make a lot of great content, that's what's going to help drive the system to sell well, so they'll want to keep the price as high as they possibly can to make as much money out of it, or make as little loss as they can out of it. And finally, the number 1 thing I'm expecting from Nintendo is the Nintendo 64 era to happen all over again. It was a golden era for video games because Nintendo basically focused on quality games over quantity. Now the Wii had a focus of quantity games where they're releasing games every 2 seconds to help drive sales for the system, because there's Wii Sports, Wii Play, Wii Music, Wii Party, all of those. A lot of them were, to be honest, rubbish, and quite a few good ones came through. Some instant classics, including Mario Galaxy, Mario Kart, both of the Zelda games, and so on and so forth. But the Nintendo 64 was quite revolutionary because it had the first 3D Mario game where you can move in a 3D environment, but it also had games like Mario Kart, Donkey Kong 64, one of my personal favourites to be honest, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and even Super Smash Bros. Debuted on the Nintendo 64. And there's already been a hint that this is sort of coming from Nintendo, because just recently they announced Pokemon X and Y for the 3DS, not for the Wii U, but it looks completely different from the previous generations because it looks like a proper 3D environment, more opened up and more free, opened, and all of that. So hopefully if they do stuff like this for the Wii U, we could be set for a lot of fun. And that's all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. The question for you, the audience, is what Wii U game do you want to see announced this year more than any other, and why do you want to see it? Do you want to see like a Mario Kart because you really like racing games? Are you desperate to play Smash Bros again, or can't wait to get your hands on a brand new Zelda game? Not so much a remake, but more of a sequel type game. So you can leave a comment in the section below. And please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you later. Peace.